In this video clip, you will learn how to use some useful phrases when writing formal letters or email letters. The first thing you need to know is that any letter starts with salutation like Dear Mr. or Dear Miss plus the surname, or Dear Sir or Madam if you don't know if the receiver is a he or a she. Then you start by explaining your reasons for writing, and you may use phrases like I'm writing to inform you about the product we have received from your company. Or another phrase, I'm writing with regard to your last letter dated June 19th. Or another phrase, I am writing on behalf of our company regarding the receipt of your consignment on March 3rd, and so on. Then you start by asking questions like, I would be grateful if you could confirm receipt of our shipment. Or another phrase, maybe you may start with saying, I wonder if you could check the contents of the shipment and confirm that they are in good condition, for example. Or you may start your phrase by saying, could you reply to this letter as soon as possible? Or could you tell me something about your company's services? Or you may use a phrase like, I would particularly like to know the price of the shipment we received last week. Another phrase maybe to ask is, I would be interested in having more details about the services you can or you may offer us. Now you don't need to use all these phrases. Choose the ones that are appropriate for your letter only. Now here are some phrases that you may start your letter with when you want to refer to their letter. A phrase like, as you started in your letter, you can finish it, for example, by saying, we are glad to make business with you. Or you may start your phrase with regarding, such as, regarding the order, we assure you that everything is appropriate. Or you may start your phrase by saying concerning, such as, concerning the payment, our check is on its way to your company. Or, for example, with regard to, or with regard to your latest letter, we can tell you that we have not received our order yet, and so on. What about complaining? Now, if you are complaining in your letter, here are some useful phrases you can use which express your complaint. For example, I'm writing to complain about, such as what? I'm writing to complain about the high price you are charging for such a small consignment or for such a small order. Or, for example, you may say, you said you didn't receive our check, but in fact what happened is that there was a delay in our post. So you may use different words to add to these phrases. Or you may complain by saying, we were supposed to stay with British families, whereas we actually stayed in a guest house. That is, if you are writing a letter to a school or a college that they are offering you accommodation. Now, how do you close your letter? You can close it by saying, for example, if you require any further information, please do not hesitate to contact me or to contact us, and so on. Or you may close your letter by saying, I look forward to hearing from you soon. Now notice that the expression or the phrase to look forward to is followed by a gerund, because to is used here as a preposition. It's part of the phrase to look forward to something, to look forward to doing something. Or you may close your letter by saying, please contact me if you have any further questions, or please contact me if you have any further information, or please contact me if you have any further queries. Now, how do you sign off your formal letter or formal email? You can sign it off by saying, if it is dear plus a surname, then you sign it off by yours sincerely. That is, you know the person that you are writing the letter to. But if you've started your letter by if you've started your letter by dear sir or dear madam, then you sign it off by yours faithfully, because you don't know the person yourself. And then you add your first name plus your surname. Now here's a note for you. Remember that in formal letters or in formal emails, we use formal vocabulary, usually not using phrasal verbs. For example, we use tolerate instead of put up with. More complex sentence structure, knowing what a good reputation the restaurant has. I was disappointed with the service. Now you can see that this is a rather complex sentence structure. And punctuation, you may use punctuation using semicolons. For example, the library offers no facilities for borrowing videos, semicolon. This is because of the high cost involved. Now in this slide, you will learn some useful phrases when writing a letter of application or when sending an email letter of application. You start, as we said before, in any formal letter with salutation, saying dear Mr. or dear Miss plus the surname, or dear sir or dear sir or madam if you don't know the person, or if you don't know if it is a he or a she. Then you start by giving your reason for writing. Some very useful phrases are, I'm writing to apply for the post of whatever you're applying, or I'm writing to apply for the position of, and then as advertised in, for example, in today's newspaper. Or another phrase for giving your reason for writing can be, I'm writing with reference to your advertisement which I saw in today's paper. Or I'm writing with reference, or no, I'm writing in response to your advertisement which I saw in today's paper. Another useful phrase is, I'm writing in connection with your advertisement in the Daily Star on May 11th. Or another useful phrase for giving your reason for writing can be, with reference to your advertisement that appeared or which appeared in today's newspaper, I am applying for the post mentioned. Then you show your experience, you show your qualifications. In other words, you show your CV by using phrases like, I gained some experience while working at so-and-so. I'm currently working as a manager in somewhere. I've been working for, give the name of the company or the place or the institution that you have been working for. I've been working for the last 4 years. I worked part-time for 3 years and then I was appointed full-time, for example. At the moment, I am employed by, give the name of the place or the company you are employed with. Another very useful phrase is, my qualifications include, then name your qualifications. I have a diploma in, for example, in accounting. I have a diploma in business administration. I have a diploma in financial management, and so on, whatever. Then you say, you use a phrase like, I graduated from London University last year with a degree in, then name the degree. And then you may say, please find attached my CV. Now your CV is going to be attached to your letter of application. You don't include your CV in the letter. You just mention by saying that they are going to find your CV attached to your letter of application. And you may also say, as you can see from the attached CV, I have the right qualifications for the post advertised, for example. Now, how do you end your letter of application? Here are some very useful phrases that you may use. For example, please do not hesitate to contact me should you require further information. Or please do not hesitate to contact me if you require further information. Another useful phrase to end your letter is, I look forward to hearing from you. Or, I'm available for interview at your convenience. Another useful phrase for ending your letter is, I shall be available for interview any day apart from Wednesdays. And how do you sign off your letter? You sign off your letter if you have started by dear plus the surname, as I said before, then you sign off your letter by saying yours sincerely. If you have started your letter by dear sir or dear madam, then you sign off your letter by writing or by saying yours faithfully, and then you put your first name plus the surname. Now here I will brief you with the layout of some other types of formal letters or formal emails. Now here we have 6 different formal letters or emails as examples. Now let me go through the layout for each. For example, if you are writing a report letter, then you start with an introduction, and then you report your results, and after that you make your recommendations. Then we have letters to complain about something. Again, you start by writing your reason, then you introduce the complaint, and you may introduce further complaints if there are more than one, and then you demand an action from the recipient or from the person who is going to receive your letter, and after that you end your letter. Then we have letters to make suggestions. Again, you start your letter by writing your reason, that is why you are writing this letter. Then you make your first suggestion, then perhaps you make further suggestions if you have more than one, and then you offer a choice. You ask the recipient to make a choice of the suggestions that you have made in your letter. Then we have letters in which you request information. And again, you start by writing your reason why you are writing this letter or this kind of letter. Then you request your first piece of information, and you may request further information if you have more than one piece of information. And then you thank the recipient for the information that he is going to provide you with, or that she is going to provide you with. Then we have letters in which you give information. Then again, the same thing. You start by writing your reason for this kind of letter. Then you provide your first point. Maybe you provide further points, and then you end the letter by using appropriate phrases to suit this kind of letter. And the last thing we have here is letters to request permission. That is, you are asking the recipient for some sort of permission. So you start by writing your reason for this kind of letter. Then you make your first request, and if you have more, you make further requests. Then you thank the recipient for permission and for the recipient's approval for you to be permitted to do something. Now here is a list of references I have referred to when making this video clip. For more video lessons, visit my site www.recyclingenglish.com. And remember this piece of advice from me to you. The more you read letters or emails, the more you add useful phrases to those you already know. And the more you write letters or emails using different phrases, the more proficient writer you will eventually become. And always remember that practice makes perfect.